Welcome back to another episode of Local Search Tuesdays. This week I've got a really cool treat for you. Tips for 2020 from some of the top digital marketing experts in the world. For those of you who don't know, I speak at conferences all over the world. And a few months ago, I thought it would be awesome to start collecting tips from all the top digital marketing speakers at these events. I ended up deciding to join SearchLab shortly thereafter, so the release of the videos got a little bit delayed. But now we've got Local Search Tuesdays going, and it's finally time to share these awesome tips with you. Here we go.
Focus on brand marketing fundamentals. If you've got time to learn to code on the side, great, but get the fundamentals right first.
Hey guys, my tip for you is to start testing your own shit. Stop just believing what you read, collect all of your data, try it for yourself, and see what works for you in your business and your industry. Good luck.
My best tip that I can give is to read Google's Quality Raters Guidelines. They might seem like a really long read. They're about 160 pages, but they're absolutely packed with tips, with things that Google actually considers high quality. And we've seen really good results by going through the Quality Raters Guidelines and trying to pick out what aspects are in there that aren't being seen on our client sites. And you can really often find good stuff to improve on your site and see good results afterwards.
So what's important in next year is, so I suggest making the most use of Google Search Console. So it's very important to use Google adding new features and improving, so become a master of Search Console.
You guys, it's almost 2020 and you're not podcasting. Who likes writing anymore? I hate writing. Get a podcast going.
This is going to be the year of message mapping. You absolutely are going to leverage your audiences for display, for search, customize your ads, and make sure that those really qualified leads are going to the exact right landing page, and potentially even filtering out organic so you're not wasting your hard-earned marketing dollars on folks you get anyway. Make it the year of message mapping.
I think the biggest tip I can tell people this year or next year is stop trying to be a shitty Amazon. If you just have a list of products with the same prices and not free shipping and no other real value, you're not going to compete. You got to find what your unique value is and why you're better. Become that expert, become that authority, and give people a reason to choose you over the other sites out there.
So in 2020, the thing to be thinking about and working on as a digital marketer is think outside of Google. SEO, digital marketing, content marketing, just audience acquisition. Google's not the only place to get that audience. Find those places for your niche and concentrate on that. Bring the audience in, be the rock star.
And if you are not, then you need to be advertising on YouTube. It is absolutely ridiculously cheap. You can reach audiences by different segments, by behaviors, by specific marketing actions through things they've done with you before on Google. So if you are not in 2020, please, I beg of you, look into advertising on YouTube.
My tip for you is to audit your social media quarterly. So often we think about social media as like a monthly and annual thing. But it's really quarter to quarter where we make our big business decisions, where we analyze, did we hit the primary objectives from the previous quarter? And what do we need to change for the next quarter? Those business questions you need to ask with your social media strategy as well on a quarterly basis to see if you need to change strategy entirely, if you need to create new content or create more specific kinds of topics. If you wait to do this on a year basis, you'll have a year of social media posts that did just about nothing for you. Do this on a quarterly basis to really be able to analyze your social media marketing efforts and make sure you're hitting your goals.
Things that I'm going to be focusing on in 2020, and I sound like a broken record, I know it, but intent and answers. If you can predict what the consumer is looking for, you can position your product, your answer, your service right when they want it, and that's how you win. How you get there is up to you. I'm going to suggest voice, I'm going to suggest good old structured data, but intent and answers, that's the focus for 2020 for me.
So one of the big things that we focus on and getting huge gains with clients right now, it's going to sound trite and trivial and old school, but you know what? Content, content, content. What we have seen from Google's updates since March of 2018 is they've intensified their focus on understanding user intent in a search query and better evaluating the content that comprehensively addresses not only the needs implied by the direct query, but the related needs. And if you get really good at building content with that mindset, you're going to win big in SEO.
Topic organization, making sure that all of your content that's about similar topics is clustered together and you have proper organizational and navigational structures in place. As Google becomes much smarter in understanding intent of the queries that are being performed, it wants to make sure that it lands the user at an appropriate page. So if somebody's performing a broader search, they're most likely going to be presented with a category page or an index or an archive of all the information that you have on that specific topic. And if the user performs a much more refined search, they're going to go into a specific asset page. So creating that architecture and bringing in information architecture into the mix and properly optimizing using breadcrumbs or whatever have you is going to help you in the future.
For 2020.
So a good marketing tip for 2020 is to focus on structured data. As Google looks at entities a lot more, it's really important to make sure that you're marking up all the appropriate content on your website, using the latest features that Google rolls out so you can get those rich results, and testing things out, trying new things, and keeping abreast of what Google's doing with structured data, because sometimes they make changes. So just making sure that you're totally compliant to avoid any risks with manual actions.
Wait a second, can you pause?
Understanding credibility and deliverability. Everything you do should serve one of those three pillars or more of those three pillars. Understanding, helping Google understand what it is you do and who you are, what your solutions are for its users, credibility to get above your competition, and deliverability to have the content in the right format for Google to deliver it to the user in the context in which they find themselves.
For 2020, my number one tip is stop writing useless content that nobody needs and focus on content that will educate your target audiences.
You have to be proactive with building your identity within the Google ecosystem. Don't take for granted that all the traffic's just going to come to your website. A lot of people are reviewing you and looking at you through the Google lens. So make sure that you're optimizing your Google My Business identity and taking it to the next level by being proactive about it in every step of the way.
Check your grammar.
So my tip would be to utilize the Google My Business forum more. A lot of people are finding very frustrating answers lately with Google My Business support channels on like Twitter, phone support, whatnot. If you're getting really weird or odd advice from GMB support, or maybe you have like a negative review that you need to get taken down and they're telling you it's not against guidelines, the GMB forum is very underutilized. So you can actually get support there and have users escalate threads to Google's for you, and definitely take advantage of that if you're not already.
Don't forget you can upload an animated GIF to your GMB listing.
My number one tip for a business owner or any client you work with is if you don't have a review strategy, you need to get on that like yesterday. It doesn't matter how great your link building is, how great your content is, your on-site SEO. You cannot outrank a shitty reputation.
Respond to your reviews. Don't neglect your customers. Show them you love them, show them you care about them, show them that you respond.
Check out Google reviews as well as Google questions and answers to see where your competitors aren't succeeding and create content around that to steal customers from your competitors.
Reviews are the thing. You can do like only half the work of most SEOs and kick their butts if you have amazing online reviews. So monitor your online reviews, go after them, ask for them, and keep killing it with the basics of SEO, and reviews will slaughter anybody 2020.
So there you have it, some really amazing tips that will help your business shine online in 2020. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And now it's that time again. Put your hand right here on the screen. We totally just high-fived because you learned something awesome. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to come back next week for another awesome episode of Local Search Tuesdays.